Hey everybody, this is Tina from Rehatch Designs, and I thought today we would go ahead and learn how to make a boho bead. And first let me show you, I told you that on our cover that we were making, our boho cover, that I would show you the cover when I finished it or do it with you, and we had done everything up until the last few parts. And I didn't know if y'all would have the tolerance to sit through another make a cover boho journal thing. So I went ahead and finished it up, and then I thought I'd show you what I did, and it's pretty self-explanatory. So anyway, we had left it pretty much like this, but I had not put the this part on, and this is the little picture that I got from Artie Miz's kit, and I put that on there, and I mounted it on some cloth, and then I don't know, it's just a cotton duck, and it has a print on it, kind of a paisley type print in gray, because I want it to be a contrast. And then I put a little bit of vintage dictionary page, which you can barely see. I don't even really know why I bothered doing that, but it is under there. And then after that, I put some purple, so it's like, or more of a lavender type of eyelash trim. And then I put the picture on top. And then I Mod Podged it. I did put vintage photo around it, and then when I Mod Podged it, it picked up a little of that, and it just really made it this really nice kind of old look to it. And then this is just the antique sari that I put that piece on, and it has this little, looks like kind of a veil to me or something. And anyway, that goes like that, and then it has this piece, and then I put these two little pieces of gold trim on the end just because it was kind of a raw edge and I thought it looked better. I know some of you said you were yelling, don't put the gold on the bottom and the top and whatever. And you know, I know you're right. It kept bugging me. That's why I didn't do it. I wasn't feeling good about it. But I went ahead and left it because I am going to have other gold elements. I'm going to have my boho bead, and then I'm going to have tassel, a gorgeous tassel. And I just kind of felt like this gold was just there and it needed some more over here. I mean, to me, things have to balance when I look at it. I don't know how to explain that because it does look pretty haphazard, I'm sure, but that's kind of how it has to go. So anyway, this would be the bow right here. And I'm not going to cut this off because I figure once it's full and somebody wants to cut it off, they can. I'd rather have it too long than too short because, you know, once you fill up your journal and then do whatever. So, okay, so that is the front. And then I went ahead and did some work on the inside, and I thought I would show you that. I told you that I probably would put pockets in, but I was going to glue them in. So I went ahead and put a pocket in front. And then again, this is another piece of the antique sari silk in the pink. And I did take the turquoise, and I thought it was good because it brought that color inside. I put some of the gold trim here, and I just felt like, even though you could see the lavender through there, it just kind of felt like it needed a little more to kind of, you know, what to me happened is the outside had so much and the inside didn't seem like it matched, so I felt like I had to bling it up a little bit. So anyway, that's in there pretty good. And then on this side I have another antique piece that I put in there, and I went ahead and put the gold trim around it to make it look cohesive, like it was all one piece. And so that'll be the back, and then that'll be the front. So anyway, that's it. But this is going to go, this boho bead is going to go right probably. Now you got to realize a lot of this right here, that is all going to be like spine. So this is supposed to go right about here. And I don't know if I can pin that in there. And I'm going to put it right there. And so that'll dangle kind of right here. So that's how that's going to look. And then there will be a tassel, and I will do another video with a tassel. So that is how it is going to look. I know there's a little purple there. There is going to be some purple down this spine here underneath this gold when I sew in the signatures, because the signatures will be covered somewhat, the strings, and it'll bring in some more of the purple. So, and plus I think the tassel will have some in it too. So anyway, that is what I'm doing today. So I thought I would I already made the one, and you know, I don't really need to do another one, but I thought since I did it, I'd take all my stuff out to do it. I might as well just do one with you guys so that you can see how to do it. I didn't think the rest of the journal you guys really needed help with that, because it's basically just gluing in the pocket. So anyway, I'm going to show you how to do this, and it's really pretty easy. It does require certain tools and, you know, certain things, but if you're interested in doing this kind of stuff, it is not a big investment, and the learning curve is not as big as you would think. So let me put this inside. I'm trying really hard not to mess this cover up, so I'm going to put it, I think I'll put it back here. Okay, so right now what I'm going to do, let me show you what you're going to need. So, okay, here we go. Let me get this. I am going to zoom in a little bit just so that you guys can see better what I'm doing, and make sure I'm a little closer to you, because it is kind of fine work. And I can't really do it well enough. I mean, far away, my eyes won't let me do it. Where's my super zoom reading glasses? I have a pair that's like really, where did they go? Maybe they're in here. I have different reading glasses, but I have a pair that is stronger that I use when I'm doing jewelry and stuff like that. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and give you an idea. First of all, I used these straws, and I bought these at Hobby Lobby, and I used my 40% off coupon, and I bought gold just because if any of the color, if you don't cover your bead altogether, then that's what you would see. But honestly, you do cover most of it, so you don't really have to get the gold. But I had to buy some, so I just went ahead and bought gold. I think they cost $1 more, so basically 50 cents more, 60 cents more. But I figured, you know, this is like a lifetime supply, so I went ahead and splurged and got the gold. You'll need some kind of beads. You know, if you don't have a collection of beads, go look through some of your old necklaces or whatever and cut them apart, because you can use that stuff. You really can. And there's a lot of stuff. Like I'm going to do a whole video on cutting apart necklaces and making stuff out of them. But for now, just find something, cut it apart. You can use that. Scraps of material I am using. This is just the scraps from when we made the journal cover. That's all it is. These little cut off pieces, because that's all you need. Okay. You need some sort of tools, and then this is the investment. And honestly, you can get a whole set of these for like around $10 is all. I'm not going to give you one specific one because I bought these ages ago, and you can buy a whole set of these off of Amazon, or go to Hobby Lobby or Michael's and use a 40% off coupon, and you can get a whole set for $10. Usually what you get is you get a pair of pliers, you get a pair of nippers, and then you get one of these little rounding things. That's usually what you get. I don't even know. These came from different, they're all hodgepodge of different sets. And this is just, all this is a bent pliers, and it's because it's easier to do stuff when it's bent, when you're holding it. That's all it is, it's just the angle of it. That's all it is. But it's just, I like having two sets of pliers, because when you're taking jump rings or things away, you actually need two. So it's always good to have another pair. So if you get this basic set, buy this bent ones, because you'll figure out real quick why these are good. Okay, so I use something, and these are just little caps that go on your beads, and this is just to make them look fancy. You do not have to have those, but I believe I bought this set on Amazon, and this set, these are spacers, end caps. This just kind of makes it look a little fancier, and it's up to you. I mean, it's really up to you what you want to put on there, what you want to spend. But I would also tell you too to look through your old jewelry, because a lot of times you'll pull it apart and you'll have this stuff in it. So you can use what's already there. Okay. I used some eyelash trim, if you have some of that, or if you have yarn or anything you want to use to put in there, just to give it some more texture. You don't have to have that. Let's see. You can use several different things. I used these little like barrel beads, and these are really just a metal bead, really. And I use these on the ends here, and I did that just to kind of finish off the ends and kind of make it, I don't know. I wanted a longer boho bead, and it depends on what you're going to use them for, I think. If you're going to use them, like, I don't know, in something, you may want them shorter. It just depends. It totally depends on what you want. I kind of in my head knew what I wanted, and like I said, if you put these on, it makes them longer, but it kind of spruces it up a little. These are plastic beads that I think was on a scarf or something, but you can buy these and use something like that. This would work just as well as these. You can put those on the end. You can take some of your little eyelets, and you can put that on the end. You can put that in, like when to finish off the end of the bead, if you want to do that. Let's see what else you could use. I thought I put more things out here. You could use something like these. This would work. They come in packs, and I have large amounts because, like I said, I made jewelry, and I do have like an overabundant supply, but I don't know what to tell you there. Just do. You could use that to kind of, put in there on your bead if you wanted to. There's a lot of different things. You just kind of have to play with it. You can just use nothing. You don't have to have that. Okay, it's not necessary. Okay, you can use these little head pins. A lot of times you can buy just a very, very small amount of things, so you don't have to buy a lot. Now, they do make longer ones than this. They're kind of hard to find. That's why you use the wire. And actually, the wire is not that expensive, and it'll last you pretty much forever. So, I mean, I think that's a good investment. And like I said, just some beads. I have an assortment of beads here, and if you watched my Hobby Lobby haul, these were 50% off, and I didn't really have any purple beads, and I wanted to do purple. And this was just the color gallery or whatever. Actually, I don't even know if I've aired my Hobby Lobby haul yet, so you may not know that, but I got them, and I don't know if they're still on sale, but their beads are always going on sale, so it's not like, it's kind of like their material and their fabric and whatever. Okay, and then also I use something that is very easy to find, but you may not be able to find it right now. This is a ribbon that you get at the dollar store, and it's $1 for a spool of, I think it's 9 yards, and it's this netting stuff, and I bought this last year, and I'm telling you, I love this stuff for a lot of different reasons. I use it for so many different things, but we're going to use this today as part of the decorative element on there. And if you don't have that, it's not a big deal. You could take, if you have a ribbon that is kind of a gold or meshy ribbon, go look through there. You can cut it up and it will kind of do the same thing in very small strips. You know, I wouldn't put it on full like this. I would cut it in really thin, super thin strips, and it could kind of do the same thing. You know, so that's something you may want to think about using. And like I said, you may want to use some different eyelash trim. I used this, which is very furry, which kind of covered the material almost completely, so you may not want to use something like that. Anyway, that's pretty much it. So, and glue. So anyway, all right, so the first thing we're going to do is we are going to cut our straw, and I really want to make this one, believe it or not, similar. So I'm going to make it, I don't know, what long was that? Yeah, it was about 1.5 inches, I would say. Let me do it on this ruler so y'all can see. Yeah, I made it about 1.5 inches. So I just cut it, and I eyeballed it. I didn't necessarily, you know, measure it, but I'm just trying to be exact for you. All right. And these straws are, you know, they're fairly strong, so it holds up to this pretty well. Now what I did is I took, I don't think it was that, I need a longer piece. I took a piece of my my scraps that I used, and you can use anything. I mean, you could use you know, any of your little fabric scraps that you had. Like, I think maybe, now I actually think the more colorful ones look better. Like maybe this, that would probably look cool, right? But you know, they don't have to be. It could be whatever you want them to be. So let's see, like, you know, I don't know, I'm looking for another colorful. Here we go. This one would work. This one would work really well too, see? But I'm going to just do the same thing so y'all can see what I did, and then you can kind of figure out what you want to do. Scissors. I had them out here a minute ago. Well, I'll just use these because I don't know where they went. Okay, so I'm just going to cut this about, I needed about half the width of this, okay? And I actually probably don't even need as much as I have, but I'm going to go ahead and... Now this you have to cut. It really won't cut or it'll completely fray. And I'm just cutting a strip. I will measure it in a minute to tell you. That one's really haphazard. I don't know if this one might. I didn't do a very good job of cutting with that scissor. Really not an easy scissor to... Oh, here's my scissors. Here they are. Okay, I'm gonna have to trim this up a little. It says, I don't know that it would matter, but I'm just gonna do it so people don't think you have to have it that much of a mess to do it. Okay. And all I'm gonna do is take a little tiny bit of glue. I really should have got my other fabric tack out because this one is ready to go. This is not going to work. Okay. Just a tiny bit. You don't have to use fabric tack, but like I said, when I'm doing stuff, it usually is faster, so I do it for you guys. Okay. And I don't think on this fabric it makes any difference which side we start on, but we're going to go ahead and just put this as one side right here. Okay. And all we're going to do is roll this around. And when I get toward the middle, hopefully I'm doing this to I twist it. I just twist it like that. And there's a reason I do that, and that is because it makes the middle part chunkier so that your bead kind of is chunky in the middle. If you don't want that, don't do that. Okay. I actually should have twisted it more up a little here. Okay, there we go. All right. And all that does is make it chunkier in the middle. If you don't want that, then don't do that. And then don't twist it toward the end, okay? And then that makes it flatter. I think I did it too tight. Hold on. You don't want to do it too tight because you're going to tighten it up later. And if you do it too tight, then you lose all your little puffiness down there. All right, there we go. That's better. Okay. And now before I do the end, on this end, you guessed it, I'm going to put a little bit of glue. And okay, so see, I've got it pretty much the middle done, and then I'm going to do the end, and I'm just going to go ahead and wrap it around, and I'm going to try and end right at the top. But see, if there's a little bit showing, it's not a big deal. I just push it around to where I cover it all. But like I said, that's part of the reason why I got the gold straw. Okay. Anyway, so now that I've done that, my next stop for me is I am going to go ahead. I don't do the other decorating. I just go ahead and make the rest of it and do that last. I'm going to go ahead and use these, and I got these, I don't even remember where. They were not expensive, and you can buy a very small pack of these for, like I said, $1.50 or whatever. They're not expensive, but I'm going to use these as like an end cap for these. Okay, so the way I put those on is I just used this 3-in-1 or fabric tack. You do not have to glue these. I just did. I do want to show you this though. You can use, it just fits perfectly. You can just put these little eyelets in here, and that can finish off your bead. Okay, we're going to add other stuff to it to where it's even with the bead, and it actually just fits in there just right. And then you could put that on top, or you could not put that on. You could just take your bead, your next bead, and just add it right there. But it gives it kind of a finished look. You don't have to do that. You can just put the bead there and it will look just fine. But I do it just to, I don't know. And I did it to this because I kind of wanted to elongate the bead. Believe it or not, I wanted it really long. So anyway, so what I did is I took, back in here, I just put some glue on here. I told you I should have actually, I don't know what I was thinking. Okay, I just put a little glue on top, and then I just kind of stuck that there. If I can get it to stick. Well, it stuck really well last time. Okay. And I just did that and laid it down, and then I did the other side. I'll get them straight in a minute. And I just put that on there. And like I said, this is totally optional. You don't have to do this. And you could put the glue in after you put it all together too. You don't have to do it now. I just did it because I let it sit there for a minute. So it's just stuck there like that. And it's just going to sit. I'm going to put this upside down. Otherwise, it's just not going to help me out. So it's just going to sit there for a minute. Okay. And I realize that the ends are a little bit fatter than the bead right now, but they won't be after a while. Okay, so there we go. Oh, come on. Stay still. So I'm going to put that aside. So now what we're going to do is we're going to work with our wire. And I don't know if I explained the wire to you yet, but I have 2 different wires that I'm using. And I don't know if I even told you needed wire, but you do need wire. I use 2 different gauge wires. One's thicker than the other. The way it works with the wire is the 24 gauge is the thinner wire. The higher the number, the thinner the wire. I use 24 gauge and 20 gauge. Okay, those are the 2 that I use. Okay, and I always get I think it's antique brass or vintage bronze. It'll be like that, antique brass or vintage bronze. It'll be named one of those 2. The reason I do that is I mix my metals, and I always feel like that this color to me mixes really well with gold and silver. And so I don't ever worry about, I don't know. It just seems to me it mixes really well. So that's why I get it. Anyway, you use this to actually make the bead. And then this is to kind of wrap the bead. Okay, so I've seen people use the thicker wire to wrap the bead. And I've also seen people use the thinner wire to make the bead. I don't like to make the bead with the thinner wire because it becomes very flimsy, and I don't like to wrap the bead with the thicker wire because to me it's very hard to wrap. It's just a lot easier to do it with the thinner wire, but you will see that part. So anyway, I'm going to cut off a piece fairly long. I'm going to say close to 12 inches. And you're going to think, oh my gosh, why do you need that much? Well, you just kind of do. And it's better to have it long than short. So, okay, so what we're going to do at this point is on one end of this wire, okay, we are going to take this little tool here. And this is your little roundy thing. And this is used to make the little loops on the end. Like this, and it's also used to make if you're going to make your own jump rings, that kind of thing. Okay, so I don't know what the technical term is for these, so what I do is I'll go down about 1 inch and I will wrap my wire around, okay, and go completely around and come back up, and then you'll see if you turn it over you'll have your 2 wires crisscrossed, and at that point I use my hands. You can use your pliers. I just twist it, and then you just kind of, here, let me hold that right here. You just kind of twist it and get it on there nice and tight. I go probably, I would say 2 times, and I'm making this loop pretty big. Mainly kind of want to show you. But anyway, so then I've looped it around a couple times. Okay. That's not the greatest loop. Let me kind of, if you do it with the pliers, you can do it better, but I did not. So, and see, this is where you're going to come in. This is where these bent pliers come in. They really work really well for this. So I'm going to move this back up. I'm just going to twist it around a little bit more. You can go tighter when you use your pliers. So, all right, I did it a little bit better, but not much. Okay, so anyway, that is your end. And then what you're going to do, yeah, I did that. I didn't do very good on that. I'm going to unwind it a little bit. That's too much. You don't want to do it too much because, yeah, there we go. Okay, now what you do is you cut off the excess, and I always have like a little piece or something to put the pieces in because you don't want to step on one of these, trust me. Let me move that out. So you want to go as close as you can, cut it off, and then my wire is really crooked here. And it's going to get crooked when you're working on it because honestly, you're basically, you know, that just reshapes it. And then, you know what, that is not working. I just didn't do it right. I'm going to do it again. That way you guys can see it again. All right. I am going to take this and I'm going to I'm going to leave about 1 inch above it. I'm going to loop it around, okay? And then I'm just going to kind of form an L as tight as I can. That's what I did wrong. It's hard when I can't put it close to me. And then I'm just going to kind of just twist the wire around. And actually you should twist the small part, not the big part, but I did it backwards. And just twist it around. Gosh. Hard doing it in front of me like this, okay, because I should put my glasses on. That would help. Oh yeah, that's tremendous difference. Okay, so anyway, next time do the small part around it because it works way better. Much better. I don't know if you can see it while I'm doing it like this. Okay, so we twisted it around a couple times. And I'm going to straighten my wire out. And then I'm going to go ahead and cut this right at the end. Well, still not the best job, but it'll work. And I'm going to go ahead and kind of smush in that end so it doesn't stick anybody. All right, let me go ahead and I'm going to bring it in toward myself. I know you guys can't see me, but I'm going to do that real quick. Okay, so I did it again this time and I twisted it, and this time take your smaller one and twist it around and get it as tight as you can. And you can do it with your pliers, but anyway, there you go. That's a little bit tighter. All right, and now I'm going to do is just take that off, snip it, I didn't get very close. See, I know my head's in there. That's what I'm saying. It's really hard for me to do stuff far away from me that's that intricate. There we go. Like I said, you don't want to step on this stuff, so that's why I have that little tin there. It does make a difference. Trying to smush it closer. This is not as hard as I'm making it seem. Okay, there we go. I just got to cut it just a tiny bit more. All right, so anyway, we have our one loop on the side, on the bottom, finally. It really never takes me that long. I don't know. I think I can't do it away from me. I kind of have to do it up toward me So I may have to, it doesn't really help you if I do it that way. So I don't know. Okay, so anyway, here's your loop on that side. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through my beads. And I have seed beads in here. And those are just the little tiny beads. They come in these packs. They come in small packs. I bought this pack because I love the colors in it. And I thought it would work really well. So I put some in this little container so that I could get to them. And the way I'm going to do this is I'm going to kind of layer my beads, okay? I'm start with the smallest bead, and I'm going to use a gold little seed bead, and it's going to go all the way back, okay? All the way back to this part right here. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take and it will kind of, here, if I squish this in a little bit, it will go on there. Okay, there. Yeah, it kind of goes in a little bit. I don't know. I am just having more problems with this. I don't know why I'm not getting it to do what I want it to do. There we go. Okay, so that is going to go all the way back there. And then the next bead that we're going to do is we're going to put, I go, you know, small down to, you know, and then work up to the middle. And I mean, this is just my preference on how I like to do it. So now we've got a gold one and then a purple one. And then I'm going to use, where did they go? These little beads. And these are not those. I'm going to use this one. These are, I don't really know what size they are. These are just little cat beads, and all they do is they decorate your bead, but it also adds like more bling to it. So, you know, they're worth it. They don't cost that much. And okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to have this facing the flat part, or the bigger part facing out, because it's going to basically decorate my next bead, which is one of these purple beads. So I'm going to put that there. Okay, see how it does that? And so see how pretty that is just right there with that? You've got the gold, the purple, the gold, and it does make a difference. And like I said, even if you pull apart some of your old jewelry, you'll be surprised how much of that stuff's on there. So, and it's not expensive to get just a little pack of these. Okay, so now that we've done that, and it, you know, that's not all that much, okay? And like I said, this part, I'll try and do it better the next time in front of you. It's just hard for me because I'm holding it out to be under the camera. And it's hard for me to do it at that distance because my eyes are not that good, and even with my glasses on. Alright, so then what I do is I take my bead, which is now dry, okay? So it's basically made one long bead. And I just put that on there. Hopefully it hasn't gone all the way through. This is why you need a straw, because you've basically made a big long bead, okay? And I know it doesn't look like much yet, but we will fix it, okay? So see how that little bead right there just kind of added to the whole thing? Now you don't have to do that. You could just take, not have this part and have it going this little cap right there, and it does make it look kind of finished too, okay? So this is just a different look. I mean, just play around with whatever you have. Now we're going to go back, but we're going to go the opposite. We're going to start from here and go back. So we're going to take our other little bead and get the right one. Uh-oh. Oh, it's this one. Okay. So I need 2 of those. And so we're going to put that right here. because our big bead is going to be, my hands cramp up too. That's why I don't do a lot of jewelry stuff. But I like doing it. I like the intricateness of it. That's one thing I love about junk journaling. It's like everything you've ever done or wanted to do is part of junk journaling. And that is why I think that's why it's taken off. I really do. Okay, so there, we've done that, and now we're just going to duplicate this. We're going to put our little purple bead in there. Okay. Oop. I really have to put my glasses on. See, here we go. That does help. I keep taking them on and off. Okay, and so we've done that, and then we need just a little tiny gold bead at the bottom. Okay, so that is pretty much it as far as making this part of it. Okay, so now all I'm going to do is we're going to make another loop at the end. You don't have to, but if you're going to dangle something off of it, you have to. Otherwise, what you could do is you can go ahead and just cut it and twist the end, bend the end to where it would hold it in. And that's pretty much what you could do if you don't want anything on it. But most people want to dangle something off of it. So anyway, what I'm going to do on this is I am going to, where's my little cutters? I'm going to go ahead and cut this a little bit. It's kind of big to work with. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do this again. Let's see, I'm going to go about right here. Try and do this. I'm doing it away from me, so, and I'm going to, at this time, I'm going to pull this up. I think will be easier. Okay, and see right there, all I'm going to do is I'm going to twist it around. And I might have done it too close. I don't know. To get this in there, just probably twice. If you do it with your pliers, you can probably get it a little bit tighter. Let me get these. Your pliers do make it tighter, but anyway. So you do it a couple times, and you want it pretty tight. You don't want to have a lot of gap in there. You will use some of that gap in a minute, but, and then go ahead and cut it as close as you can. I'm going to pull this close to me here. Like I said, I always make sure I have somewhere to put those because, and even though it's crooked where it's at now, you can straighten it up. And this is going to move around while you're doing it until it's done because honestly, it's very pliable and malleable wire. So, and then I just kind of smush it in so the ends are not sticking out. There's no pointy end. Let me get it in there. And try not to smush your seed bead because those will break if you do that. Okay, so that one was a lot easier. So there you go, guys. It's really not that hard. Okay, so, I mean, you could end right there and call it a day, but let me show you the rest that we're going to do. Okay, so now what we're going to do, let's get all this stuff over here. This is where I take this, did I do this first? I'm trying to remember. Nope. I did the eyelash trim for next. And like I said, this eyelash trim is very furry. So I don't know if you want to use this or not, but and I didn't take a very big piece because I didn't put a ton on there, but it just makes it fluffy. And if you notice too, the fabric that I used made it kind of frayed, I think that adds to it. So if if you like that look, it's just whatever look you like. Okay, so we're going to put a tiny bit of glue on the end right here. And it doesn't take all that much. And I'm going to loop this around so that both these ends are even. And I'm just going to take it and put it there, and you can put more glue later. But I wrap it around, and then I just start wrapping around my bead. And this time I think I'm going to leave more of the turquoise in there. Okay. And there you go. So I did that, and now on the very end, I'm going to go ahead and put some more glue and make sure that gets in there. Okay, so that glue is on there. Okay, so that's all there. So that's what we've done. Okay. That glue is going to get everywhere if I don't do that. Okay, so now that we've done that, like I said, you could leave it like that. That could be done. But I'm going to take this mesh, and like I said, you can use other gold or whatever. This just works because of the netting, and it just kind of, I don't know. I think it works anyway, but you don't, again, this is just, you don't even have to do this step. I just did it because I had it. So again, we're going to just start on one end, and actually this is too wide. I just used 2 pieces wide. Oops, doesn't matter if it's perfect because it's not, you're not going to really be able to tell. Okay, so a piece, I don't even know how wide that is, but just, about as wide as your finger. And so I did that. I put a little glue on one end again, and I'm going to take this, and I'm going to take it and start on this end. And this you kind of have to hold with your finger a little bit as you're doing it, because you're going to do this reasonably tight. The other one I didn't worry about how tight it was. This one I am actually using it to push my bead in. Okay. All right, so I'm using it to wrap my bead and make it tight as I'm going around. Okay, trying to end up to where I have enough to go all the way around. Okay, and there we go. And the reason this works is this stuff has like a string in it, if you can see that gold string, and that's why this stuff works so good. So if you don't have any now, I'll bet you go to Michael's or Hobby Lobby. When I was at Hobby Lobby, they were putting the Christmas stuff out because it's a very common ribbon. And, so anyway, hold that for a second on the end. Put a dab of glue and hold it for a second because it will take a minute for it to dry. But look at that. Isn't that cool? And you could stop right there. That is really cool, I think. But you know what? We're not going to stop there. We're going to do more. Okay, that is sticking to there, so I'm going to cut it off. All right. We don't want that furry stuff sticking. Okay, so now that we've done that, and we've got this really kind of cool looking bead already, but we're going to do more, okay? We're going to do a little bit more. And now this is where the thinner wire comes into play, okay? This is the 24 gauge. Now remember, the higher the number, the thinner the wire. And I like 24. I don't really like anything thinner than 24 because then I don't know, it just feels like a string, okay? It's not really like wire to me. So we've done this so far, and now we're going to wrap it. But what we're going to wrap it, while we wrap it, we're going to put beads around it. And so what I do is I take some of my wire, and I'm trying to think, I think I did about 12 inches or so, maybe a little more. And I cut off a piece, okay? And I usually bend my wire at the end, just kind of loop it a little so that if the beads won't fly off for some reason if they decide to go. And then I just use I put my beads in a cup or something, and I start just beating them. And I'm going to pick up 20 beads and just, you know, trying to alternate the colors. Around 20 beads. I mean, it doesn't have to be exactly 20 beads. That's probably what I am going to do. But, and if you lose count or whatever, let me put my glasses back on. So I'm just going to be picking up some beads here. And you just do it like this. And it doesn't take as long as you think to do 20 beads. So and if for some reason you put two of the same color, not a big deal. Just keep going because they're going to be all mixed up eventually. So it's not going to matter. And I'm approximating. I'm not even really bothering to count. I just kind of know that you have to have a certain amount of beads or it won't work. All right. Oh yeah, we got a ways to go here. And the only reason you're varying them is that if you want, now you could do them all one color. You can do, you can use smaller beads, the really, really small seed beads if you want. I like this size. But it's totally up to you what you want to do. Again, it's just a matter of preference. So, and I'm having to bring this closer to me to do it. I hope my head's not in there the whole time. All right, let's see. Yeah, we need a few more, just a few more. And I usually do this in a glass dish and it works a little better, but you can pick them up and put them on there. I don't know. I just don't. Let me see, what did we do? We need a purple. So I hope everyone is getting a little bit of crafting in. My son came to visit tonight with his two puppies, and they are just a wild little, they're getting better because they're just hitting a year old, but boy, I'll tell you, they're just a handful. So I messed with them. They're a lot of fun. They're super cute, but they're just a lot. So anyway, okay, I think that's enough. All right, so here's our beads, and they're all kind of strung on there like that. And we've got this big old long wire, but that's fine, okay? We want it, and like I said, the reason I do that little twisty thing is just to keep them from falling off. Okay, so now what I do is I take these beads, and I'm gonna want to wrap this wire around here, okay? And so what I do is I start right at this point right here, right underneath this gold thing, between the gold piece and this brass piece. And because this is all one big long bead essentially, because I glued it, okay? You didn't have to do that. You did not have to glue it. You could have just left it loose, but I glue it. So this part right here, we have a little wiggle room, because even as tight as we made it, I mean, it would still be fine like that, but we're going to make it tighter with this wire. And at the same time, what we're doing is we're going to use this wire to wrap the bead, okay? Now, you could start it here if you wanted to, and wrap around, but the part of the reason I do it up here is because this helps tighten up the whole boho bead, okay? So I'm just going to take this and put it underneath there, okay? And then I'm going to kind of twist it around, and I'm going to do it probably just one time, okay? And you can tell already that it's already made my boho bead tighter, okay? So anyway, I'm not going to make it super tight, because I know that I need to do this. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. So now I'm going to go ahead and just kind of cut this part off. Let me get that. Oh, I have glue sitting here because all over because I didn't put the top on. So I'm going to cut that off as close as I can. There we go. Oop, I didn't cut it. Okay. There we go. So that's in there like that, okay? Now I'm going to just take this wire and I am going to push it right up against here. You won't even see it when the bead's done. And then I'm going to take it and I'm going to wrap it around one time on the top of where the material is, okay? Then I'm going to pull my beads toward me, okay? So we're at the top now. And I'm just going to take these beads and I am going to wrap these beads. I'm going to take them and separate them as I go around. And I am just going to wrap this boho bead. And as I'm wrapping it with the wire, I'm separating the beads. And I'm just putting them in there, okay? So I'm wrapping it tight. And I'm pushing the little beads as I go around. And you kind of have to... I don't know, you kind of have to space them as you go. And if for some reason you have a bunch of beads left over, no wire, whatever, you just unwrap it and start over. That's all you do, okay? And you just kind of go and wrap it and put some beads, wrap it, drop some beads, wrap it, drop some beads. And see, that's why you needed 20 beads around there, because you needed to have enough beads to make it all the way around, right? So the part on this is really just the spacing you kind of need. And if you end up and you don't want any more beads, you can take the beads off, you know, at the end. But I usually just, you know, figure out a way to get them on there. Now see, I have a lot of extra beads left over, so that means I did not space them well. So I may come down here. Let me see what it looks like. Looks like we need more down there. So I may unwind it. See, look at this. See, I'm going to put, it means my wire did not probably go across where it was supposed to. So I'm going to do that. And I'm going to keep spacing them. And you don't really have to wrap it that tight, because remember we had that that ribbon, the gold ribbon, that actually wrapped it pretty tight. And on top of that, we did it with the eyelash trim. So this is really the third time that we're making it tight. So, okay, that's better. And then we're going to put this right here. And I will drop two beads sometimes at one spot, and then put one over here. Here we go. All right, so now I'm at the top, and I still have a few beads left over, but I think it looks okay. I'm going to move this down here. Yeah, I think I'm going to come back down here. It looks like it's missing a few beads right here. And that's what you do. You just kind of wrap it until you get it to where you want it. You get enough beads on there. You don't have to put a lot. I mean, you can put a few and be fine. Okay, I think that looks good. I'm going to put one more gold one up here. All right, so anyway, now that I've done this, I have some extra beads that I think were good. I'm going to go ahead and take those off. All right, so now that I'm done with it, I think I'll separate that one. Yeah, that's better. Okay, so now that we've done it and we have beads all the way around, I am going to come right to the same spot that I did on the other side. I've got glue over here. And I'm just going to take my wire and I'm going to hold it down with my thumb. And I am just going to wrap it around that gold part again. Okay. And I'm going to go, and this time I'm going to do it until my whole boho bead gets pretty tight. Okay. So that's what I'm going to do. Here, that really needs to move over. Okay. So I'm going to do it till that gets tight, and I think it's almost there. Maybe one more time. Okay, there we go. And what that does is that actually tightens up your whole boho bead. It tightens up all of this. I'm going to do it one more. I think I can fit one more. Okay, yeah. So anyway, it makes it really tight at that point, okay? It makes it very stiff. And so then we're going to take that and we're going to cut it as close as we can. All right, guys? And for the most part, that is the actual boho bead there, okay? We're done with it. We are completely done. You don't have to do anything else if you don't want to. Just kind of straighten it out because it's probably going to, the wire's probably pretty bent by now. But anyway, that's pretty much it, okay? So at that point, you could be done. But on mine, I made a little dangle on the end. And so all I did is I took this little bead that I got, and then I got a couple more of my cap things here. These are the bigger ones because it is a bigger bead. Got a couple of those. And I looked for where I bought these, but these were on Amazon. You can buy the whole little thing and they'll last a very long time. And then I got my thicker wire. This is my 20 gauge. And just cut off a piece. You can do that with this, or what you can do, okay, and this is how you can put it on, or or you can do is take this little these are called eye pins, and then there's kinds that have a loop on it, and there's a kind that has the little eye pin at the bottom. You can use this or you can use this. Either way, you can cut off a piece and make it, or you can do that. If we use this little eye pin, let me show you how it works. You just take a seed bead, and usually you have to put a seed bead or something at the bottom because the holes usually, and not always, a lot of times on your other beads will be too big and it'll just go right through. Put this little gold thing on the bottom here, and then I'm going to put this. Okay, so there we go. We put those two on, and then we're going to put this on. And then remember, like I told you, I don't remember if I got this at Hobby Lobby or Michael's. I think it was Hobby Lobby. It's $1.47, and I think it's when they had a 50% off sale, which they have, like, it seems like every other week. So this stuff's not that expensive. And I mean, you know, you will get a lot of it and you can use it. So anyway, so that makes it really easy if you want to do that, or you can do it with just with this wire. So okay, here we go. So then here we are right here, and that is, we can make our dangle out of that, and we are going to again do what we did on the other wire, and I'm going to go probably about right here, and I'm just going to make an L, and then go ahead and try and twist it. There we go. Oh, shoot. I have to move it closer. Okay. It's really hard to do it far away. So I do it with my pliers. Okay. And now that I've kind of looped it through there, I'm going to cut it. And I've made my little ring. All right. So again, that's not perfect, but I don't know. I'm just not really good at doing it that far away from me. You're going to smush it in and then straighten it up. I think we need to cut it It's still got a piece sticking out there. Okay. Oh, I forgot to loop it around as I did it. That's okay. What you can do then is you can just go ahead and you can cut it like you would an eye pin. I should have looped it around as I did it, but I didn't do that. I forgot. You can just take this and I cut it in the middle if you forget to do it like I did. And you can just open it up, see, and then put that in, and then move it back. I probably should have done it with the other wire because it's a little stiffer. But there you go. So that's it. That is our boho bead, and this is a long one. Like I said, you could make it half of that. You could, part of the reason it's so long too is that we put these little pieces on the end, and so you can do what I did like on this one. You can take it and just put a little bulb pin on it and pin it on whatever. You could put a jump ring on it and put it as part of a tassel. I could see that hanging on a tassel, and I think that would be really pretty. This is just not wanting to stay straight, is it? There we go. So that is kind of how it will look. Let's see. So that's it, guys. That is how I made my boho bead. And like I said, it's not as hard as I made it look, but that's it. That's all you got to do, and you've got this pretty boho bead, and it's easy to make. You don't have to make them with all those different layers. I just did it. You can stop earlier and not put the beads on and the wire. You cannot put the gold on there or the eyelash. I mean, you can just figure out what parts you want to do and do it that way. And okay, so I just wanted to, before we ended this video, to give you guys an idea of how to turn the camera off, and actually for a while, and I did a few more boho beads, and I want you to see all the different kind of beads you can make and what you can do and that type of thing. Anyway, here's the one that we made together and our finished cover, but I want you to see the rest of them. Let me put that up there. These are just, let me get this stuff off of here. What a mess. So I made different ones. Here's a blue one, and you know, it just mainly has blue in it. Here's another blue one, and this is just an old earring that I put as a dangle down the bottom. Okay. Here is a gold one, and it has like a little locket on the bottom of it. I envision these things like maybe hanging either on the front of a journal or maybe, you know, as a tassel or something like that. Here is a purple one that has a little, I don't know, this goes like to an old necklace or something, and just, you know, tear apart your jewelry and figure out, you know, what you can live with and what you can live without. Here is an orange one that has a little thing on it. Okay, yeah, this is the one that we made, the purple one. Here's a pink one that I just love. Has this little dangle on it. Here is a red and gold one that has a little key on the bottom. And you know, these are really about the same length, but what it makes them longer or shorter is the extra beads that you add on. So if you didn't want to, you wouldn't have to, you know, do any of that. So anyway, that's that one. And then I wanted to show you a few that I made that were doing things a little differently. Okay, so this one does not have this ribbon that I made this, and actually I made several out of ribbon and it worked really well. This is a ribbon that I bought at Hobby Lobby on clearance, and that's all that's on here. And then I used the this stuff, the other ribbon on top of it, and it looked pretty good just with this. So I wanted it a little bit more glitzy, but it doesn't have the eyelash trim on it, and it doesn't have any beading. And for me, it's because it already had so much texture to it. So anyway, I thought that turned out really cute. This one, I put the eyelash trim on. I use smaller seed beads, if you like that better. This is just material, just a piece of scrap cotton material. I did put eyelash trim on it, and I trimmed it quite a bit, but anyway, just to give it some texture. And I think that turned out really pretty and a little bit more organic and less blingy, right? So you can make them less blingy is what I'm trying to tell you. And here's one that's pretty basic in itself. This just has some dyed seam binding with nothing else on it, and then just the bead itself. And I think that's pretty all by itself. So anyway, and also I wanted to tell you that the bead itself is only this big, so which you can actually make it smaller if you want to. But if you wanted to, you could just put like one little thing on top and the bottom and call it a day, and not do all what I'm doing. If you see, this is the same size. Okay, you could just stop it here and there, or you could just put maybe this on. I mean, you could do whatever it is you want to do if you don't want to make it bigger. So anyway, guys, that's it. Thanks. Hopefully you got something out of this, and if you liked it, let me know. If you have any comments, let me know. If you have any favorites. I will be doing more on this journal. It's going to be just pretty much a series, because I think a lot of people are wanting to see it start to finish. I won't show you everything because it's kind of hard to do, but I'll show you a lot. The next thing we're probably going to do is the tassel that I'm going to put on the cover, and then after that we'll start working on the papers and stuff on the inside for the journal. Okay, so anyway, hopefully I'll see you back. So I'll probably do the tassel Wednesday, or I don't know, we'll just see how it works out. So anyway, thank you guys for watching. I appreciate all of you. Stay safe and have some fun, and start a boho journal, because the colors are beautiful and they're very happy, and it'll make you happy. All right, take care.